What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. 2 days late. The record has been broken. You know, it was going to happen sooner or later. It happened this week. I'm heavy with work, and I've still actually got a lot of work that I'm doing, but we got all of our books read finally. I actually finished this morning, which is why I really couldn't watch Frontline live, because if I did, I didn't want any spoilers for certain books that I left for last. So we got a nice amount of books this week, which, by the way, these books were released in what week?
The books were released on February 21st, 2018.
It was. And we're going to make this review a little bit quicker because it's later, but we've been doing quick reviews anyway. Really quickly, when we get into... I'll make the mention when we get into Marvel, but we got a nice amount of books this week. So without further ado, I feel like I've talked enough to kind of start setting things up.
Don't you want to wait for...
Well, I'm letting people come in. We should be back to our normal schedule next week. Hopefully we're not colliding. I'm not sure if Media Madness is supposed to be happening.
Is the Angry
Yeah, because we have the Funkos on Live.
Yeah.
But anyway, hopefully we're not colliding with anybody, and if we are, we won't be colliding for that long. So that's why we're going to kind of push this to start a little bit faster and get it done a little bit faster. But anyway.
All right, so the books that we have this week, starting with the book that I actually wanted to check out to read, is Ice Cream Man issue number 2.
Now, I read it as well. This was a really twisted kind of...
It was more like I was reading about a person getting drugs just to keep alive.
Right. It's kind of she was an addict, and she stole and her boyfriend was unconscious on the couch. She stole the Ice Cream Man. See, the Ice Cream Man, yeah. But the Ice Cream Man is he's kind of like Death in Grim Tales of Terror. He's in all the issues,
right? Because he came in at the
and
last
said, "You stole my truck, and I'm here to give you gifts more than to punish you. And here's this thing: only one of you can live."
Right. So he was like saying, I got rid of one by accident. Right. So he was like saying, just either you drink this to kill yourself, or you give it.
No, you drink this and it'll cure you, or you give it to your boyfriend. And she ended up picking the boyfriend. She overdosed and died. And the boyfriend, who she said, "I gave you this second chance, now make the best of it." And at first you think, oh, the boyfriend is gonna, go to rehab, which he does. This is gonna change his life.
Right.
By the last page of the issue, he's already going back.
So I'm just trying to get this thing to work. All right. But I really enjoyed the issue, though. It had the other side issue where this old guy named Phil with his servant Alice, I think her name was.
No, that was you're talking about the preview at the end of the book.
Right.
No.
Like
that was just a preview.
Oh, that was a preview.
No. The only one story, and it's the Ice Cream Man.
All right. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, it does give you that Grim Tales of Terror feel to it, and I'll be definitely reading issue number 3.
Now, here we go, everybody. I know Jay's going nuts. Moral of the story, don't trust the Ice Cream Man. Exactly.
Yep.
Shattered Grid Prelude, everyone. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 24. The Rangers now learn that Draken is being held by, I forgot the woman's name again. I had it last night.
Wait, do you want me to?
And, I mean, if you can find it, that's great. But I forgot her name. But they find out that Lord Draken's there. Rita gets gets, oh, God, Finster back. Why did his name leave my mind? She gets Finster back, and she says, "Listen, take all your hidden monsters all at once, grow them, and let the Rangers have field day with it." And Finster's trying to convince her, but that's not what I meant to do with them. They're supposed to be hidden to keep them guessing, to keep them on their toes, to kind of catch them off guard. And she's like, Grace, thank you. And Rita's like, "I know best. I'm the leader. You're just a creator. Do what I say." And what Finster doesn't tell her is, in doing that, it hurts the monsters, growing them twice as big, and the Rangers make easy work of them. They defeat all the monsters at once. Finster's plan is destroyed. Rita kind of gets screwed. And now the Rangers are left dealing with Grace. And they don't trust her anymore now because she had Draken. And I love, there was a nice scene at the end of the issue with Jason talking to Zordon about I trusted her. Now, now the team's in danger possibly because of me. She knows our identities. She has Draken. This is no good. Maybe we should. And they're thinking about formulating a plan to take Draken and put him into like a pocket dimension. Unfortunately, Saba takes it among himself to try to take down Draken once and for all. And spoiler alert here, Saba gets deheaded from his sword and Draken escapes. Thus begins Shattered Grid. I'm going to enjoy it. And he whispers something to Saba. Obviously, we'll find out in the next issue when Shattered Grid begins. But really good setup. Really good setup. And I believe that Grace is definitely, and Rangers will be going their separate ways because of this.
Okay, so going into another book, WWE issue number 14. Did you read it too?
No, I missed this issue because I was far behind on my books.
Well, basically, the cover says it all. This is more related to women pro wrestling. Which
Why
actually,
does Sasha have such a big head?
I don't know. I didn't even realize it. But anyway, basically, this issue talks about how Stephanie McMahon did like the women's evolution thing. And it talks about the story behind the scenes of Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. But it was more focused on Bayley 3 years earlier before joining NXT and anything else, about how they met each other and how she idolized Ric Flair and all that. And then as the pages kept going like year after year, they showed about how they were in NXT, and then they felt like they should be in the WWE of Raw because on Twitter or whatever it was on social media, they thought that they should be in the WWE. So they make their way into WWE, talk with Triple H, and then he says to them, he talks to Bayley basically, saying that she should be the women's division in NXT, the face of it, and watch backstage as the other 3 women perform and stuff like that because the Divas saw Bayley as too nice, like always.
I don't know if that's going to be the same after this week's Raw.
I don't know, but they said that her attitude has to come out and everything. But
I think
this is a great issue.
So this is what I don't like now. The comics are kind of foreshadowing what they're doing in wrestling. So like that comic, if I would have read it before Raw this week, I would have said, "Oh, are they going to try to push Bayley to have like an attitude to be a bad guy now?"
Mm.
And now it looks like if you watch Raw, see, I know the cliff notes of Raw, so I don't know.
Yeah, and
not going to comment on Triple H. I saw what he did to Rick. You could do it here, Alan. But again, this is a comic review. But I will say this: I did see what he did to Kurt Angle, and this is leading into the mixed tag for WrestleMania. Yeah.
All right, but and the second story showed Asuka. I love Asuka. She's awesome in there. All right, so the next review comic book is Red Sonja issue number 13. So it's her and the professor who are trying to find their portal way of just, basically like finding out the last issue of finding out that the girl that she was with is basically the father is Colin Goff. And we know how she's, like that. There's like this big war that happens that goes on where she's like in this revolution and stuff like that. Basically, like, it was an okay issue. Like, it was like here and there and stuff like that. But basically, it was pretty interesting, this issue, I must say. So I definitely say check this out. Now, I didn't read issue number 1, but I wanted to check this out, actually. And did you know that Jason David Frank's playing Bloodshot? I thought he was playing Ninjak.
No, Michael. And everybody knew he was playing...
I thought it was Ninjak. I forgot.
He's playing Bloodshot.
Well, anyway, we have Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe, issue number 2. Now...
You didn't read issue 1?
I don't think I read issue 1.
I'll have to see if I have it or if I need to get it.
Well, it doesn't matter because issue 2 basically explains all what happened in issue number 1.
Oh, okay, so there you go.
Ninjak is wanted by the Valiant Universe. And, they think that he committed something or people are against him. Ninjak thinks that, but they're really not. So he has a talk with, why is his name? Oh, the one with the hammer. Oh, God.
Thor?
No, the one with the... Oh my God, why can't I remember? Well, anyway, I can't even believe I forgot. But anyway, he has a talk with him basically about, because he's like the only one that can talk sense to him and everything. And he's just like going all out and wait, Eternal Warrior or something like that.
He forgot the Eternal Warrior.
Well, hey, there's lots of things to remember. The Eternal Warrior. And he's just going against them because they think that they're all against him. And the nanites actually play a role with the whole thing with Bloodshot and everything, because he faced off against Bloodshot, Exo, and so on and so forth. So I guess we'll just find out what will be, what will happen next. And no, Alan, I don't need sticky notes. I need a good memory.
Now, I got to talk about this book for a little bit, and then we're going to go, you'll see we'll go a little bit faster when we get through Marvel. Birthright issue number 30. Now, Birthright's going on a break after issue 30. Birthright, like Paper Girls, like Saga, they put out about 10 to 11 issues. Well, no, it's 10. I'm wrong. They put out about 10 issues at a time. There's sometimes 1 or 2 months in between each issue. Not each issue, between certain issues, because of wanting to get the issue out, the arc out throughout the year. But this is the final part to volume 5, or the 5th story. Well, obviously, because we're going from 30 to 4. No, 1 through 10 is the first arc. 11 through 20 is the third. 20 through 30 is the third arc. Anyway, it's all together anyway. I don't know why I went into that. But in this issue, Mikey relives why he chose the Nevermind. And it turns out that Lore showed him that his family was breaking apart, and the only way to fix it would be for him to go to Earth. And in the end, Mikey makes the decision to save his family and to see his family and prevent them from imploding and destroying. And Lore kind of tricks him in a way to believe that, weren't you supposed to be the one that killed me, and yet I killed you? And he's like, true. And then he basically accepts for his family. So he makes the wrong decision for the right reasons, if you guys understand that logic. And what happens is now the mages are in him, and they're sucking out the Nevermind as well. And they bring the parents in to help Mikey fight off the Nevermind. And Gideon goes in to try to help Mikey break away from the Nevermind. And in the end, long story short, he does. And now Mikey's free. It's taken 30 issues, but finally Mikey is cured of the Nevermind. And Lore, because apparently Lore was in his mind also, because Lore is connected to the Nevermind. Nevermind's taken away. Now, obviously, there's going to be a price to pay. We don't know what that price is at this point, but Gideon loses her wings because she ends up fighting the Nevermind after it comes out of Mikey, and we don't know if they're gone forever or if they're injured. One thing I did not like about this issue, and I didn't like about this story arc so far, is the mom, pardon my language here, is a bitch. I really don't like the mother. I feel like the mother has no right to be making certain statements that she's making. And like when Mikey's cured finally.
Wasn't she like that in the past issues?
A few times, and I think I mentioned it there too.
You did.
Mikey's cured now. 100% cured. And she saw it because she was there. And even the major said, he's cured. And she's holding Mikey's baby. And what happens is she says to the mom, can I hold her? And the mom's like, no, I need to trust you first. I need to trust you first. That's his baby. It's proven that he's been cured. And he has to prove to you, the mother he hasn't seen, he's grown up all by himself on Tyrannos. He has to prove to you, after the shit that you've been putting the family through and everything, he has to prove to you that it's okay for him to hold his own daughter. But of course, Mikey's now good, so he understands, and he just asks for her name instead. But again, and this isn't bad writing. This is great writing. But my point is, I don't like the mother because, in my opinion, obviously as the person reading the story, it's like, who are you to need to trust Mikey when it was said right there by the mages that took the Nevermind, he's cured. And you have to trust him? Excuse me, where were you? Did you try finding Mikey? No. You blame the father for him being dead. You blame the father for killing him and hiding it. And now you have to trust Mikey has to start trusting you first. And the family should be trusting you first. You're the reason. The mother, by the way, for anyone who hasn't been reading Birthright, you should be. And actually, they mentioned in this book that they're getting a Universal movie through Universal, which I'm very excited about. But if anything, the mother should be proving to the family that she could be trusted. I'm surprised Gideon didn't say something. Maybe she will in the next issue. Who knows? But Mikey's actually talking normal again, too. So you know it's Mikey. That's what's driving me nuts. You know he's cured, and you have to trust him first? It's not your baby. You didn't even know you were going to be a grandmother until 10-ish, maybe 6 issues ago. Are you serious? Now you're going to protect the baby? You had no idea what was happening. Your son is grown up, married. Come on. Come on. Really? Ryder did a great job of me not liking the mother. But the story, if you haven't read it, all the trades are out. And I believe Volume 5 was advertised in this book. Because, that's why. The trades are every 5 issues. Then there's a hardcover that does 10. But the 5th volume is coming out, which is this arc. There's 5 volumes out. Go out and get them. It's worth the money. I think I missed the first arc physically. So I got the trade, which was the first 5 issues. Haven't regretted it. One day I will go back and get those 5 single issues. I'm actually debating about doing it on Midtown if I can find all 5. I don't think you can find the first. But I think I bought the first. I think I stopped after the first.
I think so.
I think I bought the first one. It was 2, 3, 4, and 5 I didn't get physically. So I have to see. I have to check. I'll check. I'm good at that. But excellent story. Guys, check out Birthright. It's one of my 3 favorite Image books. Saga and Paper Girls are the other 2. Going into Marvel, before we start there, it's not on the list. You're not going to see it on the list. I just would like to mention I did skim through
I put it.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah, because I noticed and I got
Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh.
And I'm just kind of preparing myself for the last arc because I am going to read Dan Slott's last Amazing Spider-Man arc. And I guess I'll be reviewing it because why the hell not? Banana Company, yeah, basically this is the Banana Company we're about to go into. We can't call them Banana Republic because that's a clothing line, but basically it's Banana Republic or Banana Nation. We can call them Banana Nation. There we go. Let's start with but Amazing Spider-Man, again, not something I'm woo on, but Peter and MJ back together. I didn't see that. I saw that part. Again, I didn't read it. I wanted to see what was going on, and I know that Norman Osborn is now one with the Carnage symbiote, and he's going to give himself the Goblin juice again. We'll see how this arc plays out. But I think Slott's going to do, he's going to kind of bring MJ and Pete back together, is the rumor, I believe. I think he's going to get them back together before the new writer comes in. And I think somebody was complaining that Slott's beating the new writers to the punch. So he's going to bring them back together first. I don't know if that's true or it's the other way around where he's kind of making them further apart. I'm not sure. But again, once a writer leaves a book and a new team takes over and it starts to get renumbered again, which makes no sense because it's going to hit 700. But when it starts over again, obviously, new team, it'll be a new direction. XMen Gold 22, my final issue with XMen Gold because I'm not feeling XMen Gold. I might actually continue it because this was supposed to be my last issue and then I was going to drop the series. I might keep it digital. I might continue reading it. So the X-Men are fighting the Brotherhood. And the Brotherhood are trying to kill the woman that hired them. And what happens is the guy that messes with the minds actually messes with the X-Men's minds, and they're fighting the FBI. And they figure it out too late, and they've hurt several of them, so they get arrested. And then at the end of the issue, and this is the big punchline here, at the end of the issue, we find out that it was all set up by the woman. That they sold out. Instead of the guy with the telekinetic powers, instead of him going for revenge, this was a payout. And each one of them got their payout when the X-Men got arrested. So in the end, the woman won. She set the whole thing up, and the X-Men Gold team end up in jail, except for Old Man Logan, who left the team already. And now they're in jail because of this woman. And what happens that I like is Pyro, I believe it was Pyro, refused to take the money because it was a mark against the mutants. And I love how the guy with the telekinetic power is like, you're a villain, this shouldn't matter to you. And he's like, not anymore. So I like that they turned one of the evil mutants good. And now it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen next. Obviously, there'll be a trial. They'll be in jail for a little while. They'll get out. And I believe By that time, Gold will be done. Blue will be done. I mean, we're going into this fresh start, which, by the way, thank you all so much. I'm glad everybody enjoyed. Everybody except one person enjoyed the video, and I really appreciate all the comments. We'll talk about it at the end of the review more, but thank you all so much. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I might start doing videos like that again, where I just grab the camera and shoot my mouth, shoot the video, and then just post it up. I had a real good time doing that one, so I'll probably do it again. It's Frank. How are you, my friend? By the way, Tevya, verbally, I'm going to say hi. Hi, Tevya, since I didn't get to do it before, but I did type it. So, interesting X-Men Gold, so I might actually stick around with Gold. Blue, I'm definitely done after Poison X, which is Venom 162. I only skimmed through this book because I was interested in seeing how this story is going to play out. The X-Men now have clicked TARS to them. They're using it to their advantage. They find out where the father is, and now they're going after the father. There's a bit of a puffed out chest between Cyclops and Venom. It's okay. Again, I'm not really digging X-Men Blue. Out of the two books, I truly am not really enjoying X-Men Blue. Now, they didn't mention that Venom is getting a restart. Venom is getting relaunched. That was confirmed, I believe. I might read Venom casually after this. I'm obviously not going to be dealing with Venomized. I'm done with the poisons. I'm done. I can't deal with them anymore. I don't want to hear about it anymore. It's kind of like, remember when we did Spider-Verse and it was one and done? You know, we finished the Spider-Verse. There was some other things going on the sidelines, but we weren't dealing with it. Well, Venomized is going through Venom, and it's like literally this is what this whole Venom volume has been about, and nobody cared about it, and it's coming back to be concluded. And then I believe after Venomized is when Venom's getting relaunched. I think I'll casually read it up until the relaunch, and then when it relaunches, obviously we'll put it back on the review list. Now, I don't know what Marvel's doing with this fresh start. I think this is the last Marvel book, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Maybe. Even if it's not. Now, I don't know what Marvel's doing with this fresh start.
Let me check.
And let Michael check, because I want to make sure that we're not doing it too late.
I think there's one, two, I don't know how many more.
There's a few. All right, I'll wait till my book. I know how we're ending Marvel now. I saw the name of it. Okay, go ahead. Let Michael. We'll talk Marvel in a moment.
I had it before. Now I'm getting all these.
Mike's having a little issue with the tablet every now and again. I'll let him try one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll just start it now. It works.
All right. So I'm so glad that this series is done. Punisher the Platoon, issue number 6. You know, I want to say that I like this series. I want to say that because, you know, it was something new with the Punisher and the Platoon. It's just repetitiveness that I kept seeing after issue 2. But basically, LT, because that was Frank Castle's code name, he fights off against this woman who wanted to kill Americans and stuff like that. And, of course, she doesn't make it alive because the team, destroy her and whatnot with all that. After that, though, I really just could not get into it because it was heavy dialogue and the rest of it was just boring. I mean, this was like my least pick of the week.
Mine is coming up right now, actually.
Yeah, but... And then it just
no, that's not true. Venom was, but this is after.
And you know how in the end, like I said, like when they say, and that's the last I saw of LT, because they knew that that's how he became the Punisher, like with all this killing and everything. So, just glad it's over. Just don't have to.
All right, let's do this. The Incredible Hulk issue 713 done. This series, I am absolutely done for multiple reasons. Number one, okay, so we all knew that the Hulk was going to end up taking the wheels by the end of this arc, and he does. So Armadeus is no longer in control of himself. The Hulk is now in control of Armadeus and faking that he's okay. So they're going back to Earth now. Thor is taking him back to Earth, and basically we're going from Planet Hulk, Return to Planet Hulk. I know. We're going from Return to Planet Hulk back to World War Hulk. Now, the Hulk now controls Amadeus Cho. He's no longer the totally awesome Hulk at all. Cho has no control over him anymore. And I think when they get back to Earth, the Hulk is going to look for a little bit of revenge-ish, kind of. I don't know. But obviously, now that he's not in control, the Hulk's going to go mad. Now, another reason I won't be getting this is because they announced recently And I honestly should have done a video on this, but it's really not huge news because we already knew this was coming. After Avengers No Surrender, we all know Bruce Banner's coming back, and he's getting a series. And Marvel actually said, yes, we're bringing back Bruce Banner Hulk. Yes, he's alive again, and we're not killing him for a while. We're not going to be killing him anytime soon again. And the whole point is, it's called the Immortal Hulk. And the point is, you can't kill the Hulk. For some reason, we don't know why yet, but Bruce Banner Hulk is immortal. Not immortal as in like he's going to live forever, or maybe it is. I don't know yet. But basically, he's unkillable. As you guys know, Hawkeye killed him. How is he alive again? And how is he going to be immortal now or unkillable? And it's going to be interesting to see the angle for it. Now, my point is, I really am not a fan of Cho Hulk. I like Bruce Banner Hulk. So I'll probably... Now, as much as I told you guys, I'm not supporting financially the Marvel Fresh New Start. I will still be testing out some of their books digitally. I will still be trying some out. And if Bruce Banner Hulk is good, great. If it's not, you guys will know. I'll drop it, and I'll be the first to say this arc, this whole new volume sucks. I'm going to stay positive, though. As always, I want to stay positive until proven wrong. I am not positive about Fresh Start because it's a rinse and repeat of what we've been seeing. It's the banana all over again, the banana logic. But other than that, book-wise, I do want to read some Marvel books. I don't want our review here to be all DC and Independence. We want to have some Marvel in between to keep it diverse, to keep our, to have all different kinds of flavors. You don't just have, vanilla on a review. You have vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, put a little chocolate syrup on top, a little whipped cream, put a cherry. Mike likes nuts. I don't like nuts. So
I don't like nuts on the...
Mike likes sprinkles. I don't like sprinkles. So you want a little bit of everything.
How could you not like sprinkles? You got sprinkles?
I like my ice cream pure. I don't like crunchy. I don't want anything crunchy on my ice cream. I like my ice cream pure.
Well, sometimes I don't have sprinkles. I used to when I was a kid, but
I like my ice cream pure. But beside the point, this isn't about ice cream. This is about comics. And we want to try to keep some Marvel in this review because, again, we want to have a nice mixture of all the companies. That's why Mike does Zenoscope still. That's why Mike does has his EXO with Valiant. That's why I do Image. That's why I do IDW. That's why we try to keep a little bit from each company in our reviews. Oh, he's a pony fan.
Alan,
final issue. Whatever. The Defenders issue number 10 wraps up the entire first arc and only arc of the Defenders. Heroes for Hire is back. The world is happy about the Defenders taking Diamondback off the street and saving the day once again. But now you got Red Hood, and now you got to deal with him. Now, I believe there was another arc coming, but because Bendis left Marvel for DC, they just wrapped it all up in one issue. So it was the Defenders versus Red Hood. Red Hood escapes. The Defenders call a bunch of friends. The last page was the best page because Red Hood's like, I got a whole group, because he has a whole group of supervillains working with him. He's like, you think your little group is going to be able to take out all of us? And they're like, no, of course not. And then you just see the whole Marvel universe behind the Defenders. You have Spider-Man, Avengers, everyone. It was awesome. It was a perfect way, a really nice crescendo for Defenders. And then it says at the end, you can still follow Defenders independently through Iron Fist, Luke Cage, which is being canceled anyway, Jessica Jones, and a few other books. But again, this was a great 10-issue volume and done. Now, they won't be bringing the Defenders back for a while, I don't believe. I'm not sure. I don't know what their plans are, but both Spider-Men were on the last page. Miles and Pete. JLS is in the house, and he is a unicorn.
What's with all these ponies and stuff?
Which Spider-Man? The Peter Parker and Miles Morales Tevia. The big splash page, Miles was on the top, and Pete was on the bottom of the mural.
Yeah, you have to remember we're seconds behind.
Yeah, that's true also. But yeah, it was a great final issue. I would recommend the volume of Defenders. It was a nice arc, done. I hope they bring back something at some point with the Defenders, but I don't think they will for a while because of Bendis's hasty exit or jumping of ship. How you doing, Jesse? Hopefully you're doing good, by the way. Now, I'm telling you guys now, this is a little bit of a oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I had it and then I lost it when the dog barked. Little disclaimer. Marvel said they were not doing any events for 11 months.
Oh, yeah.
I don't support this event. So I'm not going to recommend the book. We got Prince Kyle walking in the house. How are you doing, Kyle? So I'm not recommending this book. But I did read it. And I'd like to share my thoughts on the book anyway. Because I read it. Infinity Countdown Prime. It's a one-shot. It is, I think, a $5 book, if I'm not mistaken.
They don't give you...
They didn't give us a price on... Of course, they didn't give us a price on freaking Comixology. But anyway, it's a $5 book. Unless otherwise, if somebody would like to comment if it was more. I don't believe it was a $10 book. I knew if I posted a unicorn that Kyle would show up. That's funny. I'm glad you're doing great, Kyle. So I feel like I got to share this with you because I read it. Because I heard that the main arc was going to have Wolverine in it. And it was Wolverine. It was Wolverine versus Loki. And Loki wanted proof that it was our Wolverine, the real Wolverine. And he has the space gem. And there was a fight that broke out. It was awesome. And then Loki in the end says to Wolverine, you have that gem. The other gems out there, the people that have those gems, they're going to be coming for you and for that gem. And he's like, I've got more pockets. I'm not worried. And he just disappears off. I want to know how he came back, which I'm sure we're going to find out during the Hunt for Wolverine one-shot in 2 months. And there's a few other questions that need to be answered with Wolverine that I'm sure Infinity Countdown will explain. Probably. I don't know. But I liked it. I liked the first story. After that, things kind of started falling off for me. I mean, the Skrull came back. He has a gem. I like the little tease that the DC universe is kind of possibly part of the Marvel universe. They had Captain Marvel Jr. They were showing Captain Marvel Carol holding one of the gems, and then they showed all the other Captain Marvels. And there's Captain Marvel Jr., as you know, in DC. And there's only a side panel where you just see his left leg and his arm. And it's Captain Marvel Jr., Mike. I know Captain Marvel Jr.'s costume. So it was a little tease.
I didn't even question how you knew.
So I like that. I didn't really care for the other stories as much, but I did like the Wolverine story. So again, if you are one to buy into Marvel events, this one might be good. I'll probably be reading it, but again, I don't support it because again, this was we were promised 11 months of no events. So why am I going to go out and support it monetarily? I mean, I'll tell you guys if it's good or not, but I say it's wrong. It's a $4. It's a $4.99. I looked it up for you. Thank you. I will say this. I might get this book physically to get it signed by Charles Soule if one of us, either him or I or both of us, end up at New York Comic Con, because Charles Soule is the one that killed Wolverine. And then the Hunt for Wolverine. I already got that physically.
Well, you're gonna have
as well.
to keep it on the side because.
Oh yeah, I'll keep it on the side.
You know.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely keep it on the side. But I might get the book physically. I think I decided to get Infinity Countdown physically also because we dropped a lot of Marvel books and we had the extra ability to get it. But again, I'm not supporting it, like telling you guys to go out and buy it. Because again, they promised us 11 months of nothing. And I think that even if the head of Marvel has changed, you promised 11 months. I think you can survive 11 months without doing an event. Marvel kind of, their practices are really horrible lately. They're like the Konami of comic books right now. And that's anybody who knows gaming knows Konami right now is especially after Metal Gear Survive. But really quick before Mike gets into, I think he has the last book. Yeah. I was wrong. When it comes to Fresh Start, now, again, I thanked everybody for checking out the video. Thank you all so much for the wonderful feedback. Everybody but one person, and you all would know who it is if you check the comments, liked the video, agreed with the point of view. And like I said, I will do more topic videos. I would have done one for Bruce Banner Hulk, but we all knew months ago that Bruce Banner was coming back, and we knew he was probably going to have an ongoing series because they did mention No Surrender. That was what was going to happen. But anyway, we will be buying certain Marvel books when Fresh New Start is announced, like when they fully announce it and we get some idea of what books are staying, which books are getting renumbered, which books are not getting renumbered. Amazing Spider-Man probably, and Avengers. And I think Captain America might not. Avengers, Captain America, Amazing Spider-Man, and one other book is going to hit something. Was it Peter Parker Spectacular? Whatever book is getting in the hundreds is the ones they're not renumbering. But I might do a topic video on when they make the full announcement on all the books coming out, which books I'm interested in, which books Michael is in. We'll probably both have to do it for that reason, but we'll do a video going through the Marvel previews for when they announce the full list of fresh, new start Marvel. And we'll go through the books and we'll see which books we'll be checking out. Obviously, as you guys know, we do it all digital now. Everything's on the tablet. We don't have physical books anymore. So whether we get them physically, whether we get them digitally, it'll all be about what books we're going to look into. Not buy, not physically get, but what we're going to read into as far as maybe Comixology, digitally, you know, like that. And as you guys know, Comic Frontline, we have a Comixology that has those books. So that's what when I say Comixology, I mean, or digitally, I mean that. But basically what books we're going to be looking into to review. Everything on this review is digital anyway. There's going to be a Captain Carter. I want to know what the story is about before I jump into it. Peggy Carter is Captain America. Nope. 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 Probably not. So go ahead, Mike. So keep an eye out for that video. Jesse's in the comments. What's going on, Jesse? Justin. Oh, God. Because I was answering Jesse, and then Justin popped in right. Y'all have this too similar of a name. Both of you have J's. One of you switch.
You can't switch.
Well, Justin's more of a Green Arrow, so we could call him Ollie. Hey, Justin, can we call you Ollie? What's going on, Justin? Welcome to the comic review. We're just finishing up Marvel. I was just talking about we're going to do a topic video. Austin Lawhorn, welcome back to the comic review. You were on a little while ago. It's been a while, man. But we'll make a video topic, what books we're going to be looking and reviewing or looking into the first issues of, and then we'll see how that goes. But like I said, we don't want to drop Marvel completely. Even though we don't agree with their practices, we do still want to look into things. I will tell you guys right now, if there's a Wolverine series, you know I'm getting it. Because I love Wolverine. I really do. I don't like Old Man Logan, but I love Wolverine. And now that Wolverine's back, Old Man Logan's days are probably going to be numbered. But last issue for Marvel.
Well, that's comic.
Last issue from Marvel. Then we go into DC.
Right. So this is my book of the week, and our reviews for Frontline. Luke Cage, issue number 170. This book was really amazing, and this was the last issue. I don't know. Well, anyway, all I could say, Luke Cage reconnects with.
1 sec, I'm sorry for interrupting you. It just has to do with All New Wolverine. I'll still be reading because that's Laura. I will still be reading All New Wolverine as well. I'll be reading both. Go ahead.
Luke Cage reconnecting with his daughter Danielle by giving her like some cuddle time and then making up stories and stuff like that. The connection just of father and daughter, just to make this short, because I've already reviewed some Frontline, like I said. The whole story, and then Jessica listening in on some of the stuff and laughing because when she said like badass and stuff, like, oh, where'd you learn that from? Oh, mommy told me so. That the whole issue of just father and daughter connection together, and then Jessica just coming in the end. Oh, I automatically said this is my best book of the week because this is what I liked to see. Just family and just that whole thing. I mean, guys, whether you have a child or whether you don't, you have this feel of the book of just the connection between just the father and daughter in the story.
I agree.
One and all, my favorite of the week and probably my all-time best book of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, until something else, I don't know, but just get it. And if it's the last issue, then Luke Cage, I'm going to miss reading the books.
Now, before we get into DC, let's talk about a crossover. Which, by the way, I just realized I didn't get physically the last 2 issues of Batman Shadow.
You always doing this
because it was from Dynamite. So I pre-ordered the next issue of Shadow Batman, which comes out next week, by the way. Not this Wednesday, not today, Wednesday, the 28th, the first week of March, Wednesday. This is from 2 weeks ago in February. So both of them physically will be coming. But as you guys know, we do it digitally anyway. I just thought it was funny. I missed it because it came out from Dynamite. And I'm like,
it's funny because you keep missing that you did these issues.
Well, it's the last 2 issues. This issue number 6 is the last one.
Wow. Okay. I don't know how you.
I don't know how I do it either. But this one I do. I always remember because it comes out of DC, this one. And it's Batman TMNT 2, issue number 4 of 6. Oh, my God. I loved it. Bane and his Venom, I don't want to say venomized, that's a bad word. Venomed Foot Clan versus the Turtles, and Batman and Robin are outmatched. And they end up having to retreat, but Splinter gets stuck behind because he goes to save Raphael, who's getting his butt kicked by Bane. And now they're kind of figuring out what to do next. And Donnie's still very guilty over this is his fault. And I love how he snagged one of the Venoms, and he's like, we could use this. And we can maybe we'll have an advantage over him, and they turn him down right away. And him and Leo and Batman are figuring things out. They tell Donnie, go chill, relax for a bit, and whatever. I forgot what I wanted to mention. There was something that happened in the book that Bane starts going out like he's been quiet, and Karai has been looking for him. Bane goes public and puts a Bane mask over the Statue of Liberty's face. So basically, Bane is not in the shadows anymore. He's coming out complete public. And now the Turtles are kind of up against the wall. And Batman and them are starting to formulate a plan. However, Donnie goes off on his own with the Venom. And that cover kind of spoils the last page. But that's exactly what happens on the last page. Donnie takes the Venom and basically beefs up. To be continued. I'm loving this series. I really am enjoying it. It's going to be interesting to see how the Venom Donnie is going to be versus Bane and the others, because Bane is super huge. I'm enjoying it. DC's version of the Hulk, kind of. Damage, issue number 2. Still pretty damn good, actually. He's in a center, in a rehab center, or in a place. He's living in an apartment where no drugs, no alcohol. So it's kind of like I would say a home, maybe a home. And he goes off into I forget his regular name, his real name. Forgive me, I forgot his name. It's all right, I forgot his name. But he's out and about. You know, he wants to make a call to his family. He makes a call to his mom and doesn't say anything because he's on the run, kind of from the FBI because he was turned into Damage. And then he gets attacked by Parasite and Deadshot. So hello, Suicide Squad, and he turns into Damage. And the rest of the book is Damage versus the Suicide Squad versus Parasite, and he wipes the floor with all of them. And then, see, when he's normal, Damage is in his head. When he's Damage, he is in Damage's head. So this is kind of a little bit different from the Hulk because there's a little bit more of a symbiosis going on with the two of them. And he makes easy work of the Suicide Squad and Parasite. And then Wonder Woman comes in at the end. And she's like, everybody stand back. I'm going to deal with this. To be continued. I'm interested. I'm definitely still interested in this series. I love the artwork in the book. I believe it's Tony S. Daniel that does the art for this book. The premise of the book is interesting. And again, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. You know, and obviously he's going to be public enough to the point where the FBI can't kind of hide the fact that they created him. And obviously the JLA will get involved and somehow he'll be free. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Damage versus everyone sounds fun. It pretty much could become that, except if Superman jumps in, I think or Batman, he's done. But anyway, speaking of Superman and Batman, we have Trinity issue number 18. They are stuck in a parallel dimension where apparently if they stay in this dimension too long, they grow old and die. So they have to get to this woman, Morgan, long story short, and they go on this perilous journey, and it's a perilous journey. Wonder Woman is blind, remember. Superman does not have his powers, and Batman has not been impacted in any single way in this book. He's just normal, so I guess that's why he's not impacted. But they get to her, long story short, long issue short, and unfortunately it's taking a toll on them, and you see that they have now aged old, and that's where they kind of leave this book off. I'm sad to see Trinity go, because Trinity was one of the 2 books that we're going to review here that is being canceled. However, I feel like releasing Trinity brings the possibility of for Batman Brave and Bold. Now, we do have a miniseries. It did start this week, Batman Wonder Woman Brave and Bold. I did not care for it. Not my thing. But it also opens the opportunity for World's Finest at some point to come back, possibly. And that's what I want. I want a Batman Superman World's Finest, especially if you've got Bendis limiting the Superman books to 1 issue from each title a month. We need more Superman books, and Supergirl's being canceled. Everything Superman is being canceled. Sons, Trinity, Action, and Superman are going to 1 issue a month. There's only 2 issues of Superman a month. They could throw in Batman, Superman World's Finest, and they could throw in another Superman book. Plus, they have all new Superman. Oh yeah, Damage can only fight for an hour. That's true. They're discussing Damage in the comments. But Trinity, it's a good book. But out of the 2 books in this review, I understand why Trinity's going. And I can see the positives for it. Nightwing, issue number 39. More flashbacks. I had to double check and make sure Scott Snyder wasn't writing this book. We get another flashback of when Dick was setting up to be Nightwing. This was in between him leaving as Robin and his decision to become Nightwing. And he comes face to face with the Judge again, and he escapes. Then we get a backstory on the Judge and what makes him him, like how he became who he is. And that's the whole... Oh, and we find out that the woman that told Nightwing where the Judge was actually betrayed Nightwing for the Judge. Nightwing doesn't believe it. I personally don't believe it. I'm not sure if it's true or not. We'll find out in the next issue. But that was this entire issue. And then he leaves Nightwing to drown. Obviously, Dick's not going to drown. They tried to kill Dick once during Forever Evil. Didn't happen. So I doubt that in his own book, Dick is going to drown and die.
Wow.
Batman 41. I wanted a little bit more from this book because I feel like I didn't get enough. I really didn't. Somehow, we don't know how yet. Well, we know how, kind of. Poison Ivy has taken over the entire world and is in everybody's mind. She's in Alfred's. She was in Catwoman's for a time. She even got into Batman's for a tiny little while. And Batman found a way to resist her. And he inoculated himself in Catwoman, but that's kind of, there's a downside to it. But the rest of the world is now kind of under Poison Ivy's control. And Poison Ivy figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, which is kind of, I don't like that all of a sudden the whole DC universe is going to find out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Yeah, well, Catwoman knew already, but, you know, you got Poison Ivy, who found out now. It's a slippery slope when you start letting people know, you know, Bruce Wayne is Batman. You know what I mean? It's slippery. But anyway, and she has all of his, she's using Alfred. She was able to go through all of his back computers. She knows everything she needs to know about him now. And the entire world is under her control, and she's going to make it into a utopia. And she mentioned Joker versus Superman, and this time she's like, now you and Catwoman, you and Selena are the ones that are in the box, and I'm taking over the entire world. And very weird, but I'm interested, but I feel like I didn't get enough from this issue. I feel like this was the I'm warning you, and this is what I'm doing issue. What's next? You know, I kind of want a little bit more, you know? So we'll have to see what happens, but definitely a lower issue for me this time around. I really, if this was to hook us for this arc, it didn't really, it interested me, but it needed to do a little bit more to pull me in, and I'm sure 42 might, but this left me wanting a little bit more. By the time I finished the book, I was like, that's all? Could we have gotten just a little tiny bit more? This arc I didn't like. Superman 41. Superman's trying to save this planet that believes, you know, God is either going to save them, or if God wants our planet, their God. I don't know what their God, I can't even pronounce their God's name. But if he wants us destroyed, we should be destroyed, and you have no right to say anything. So this one guy who fights against this religion has a part of his him and his wife. His wife died already, but he has this life pod with these eggs, and it's his and his wife's eggs. So basically, it's the Superman story from this world. So he tells Superman where to take the pod. He's obviously doomed. They end up fighting these dudes again, and the father ends up dying. So John ends up taking the eggs away from the planet. Superman tries to make one more attempt to get them to change their mind and go with him. Doesn't work. World explodes. I've seen some of the best paneling was right after that. I really enjoyed the paneling and the art in this book. If there's anything I enjoyed from this arc, this 2-part arc, it's the art. The art was amazing for this book. But in the end, the world is gone. No one survived except the babies. It's exactly Superman's story all over again. And there was a little, the writers threw in a little, where John asked Superman, do you believe in God? And Superman's like, I believe there's something out there. I can't believe there's nothing after all I've seen. But at the same time, I don't base my life around it, which is a good default answer for Superman. I think it was a great default answer, and it was a great issue and topic to talk about. But again, this was a lower story arc for me. This was my lowest arc since Superman came back. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like this was meant to set up now next arc we're going to have Bizarro. So John is going to have his version of Bizarro now. And that's going to take us all the way through until Bendis takes over, which upsets me because I wanted more. I really loved the Jurgens Tomasi run. Out of all the books they gave Bendis, they had to give him Superman just as Superman was getting better. I hope Bendis doesn't screw this up. You guys don't understand how on the edge of my seat I am because it took Tomasi and Jurgens to pick Superman back up again. And now Bendis comes in and he can do one of two things. He can keep him up there or he can just drag him right back down into the mud. And then I don't know how long it'll be. And Bendis stays on books for years. We're not talking 1 or 2. We're talking 7 to 10 years if he can. And my worry is I don't want to be 40 because that's about 10 years from now. I don't want to be 40 when Bendis finally gets off the book and you know what I mean? And then it gets good again or then it goes back to the way. I don't want to have to wait 10 years to enjoy Superman again. I think I'll get fatigued. I'll get pissed off. And then I'll just start buying the books like I did with New 52 and just putting them in a pile and not even bothering to review or really read them. Talking about the old Dark Avenger live show on Legend Show. Lots of love for you guys. He even talked about Brooklyn Boys. Sorry, I jumped back. Oh, tell Rob. Thank you so much for the mention, and thank you so much for the mention of Dark Avenger Live. We might do a Dark Avenger Live once in a great while on the channel over here. But tell him we said personally, thank you so much for the Dark Avenger Live love, and thank you so much even more for the Brooklyn Boys love. We really, really appreciate it. Let him know we said that, Justin. I wish I could be watching the show to thank him personally, but we're here right now. But Justin, tell him we send our love, and you guys know as much as I've said it over the past years since I started on YouTube and since I met Rob, the Great Legend. Great Legend's always coming at you live, and he is one of our closest friends here on YouTube. And he is one of my favorite videos to watch, whether it's post-live or live. He has a personality that is like no other in the world. So if you haven't checked out the Great Legend Show, Justin, link his channel in the comments, will you please? Justin will be linking the Great Legend Show in the comments. If you're watching this post-live, what you do is go over to my channel and go to his channels that I'm subscribed to, and he'll be there. It's the Great Legend Show. You can't miss it. But for those of you here live, Justin will link. But I'm sure almost everyone in the comments right now knows the Great Legend. Oh, yeah, we're talking about that. This is the last book, correct? All right. Thank you. Justin just posted the link in the comments. So if you guys want to check out the Great Legend Show, you can click that link and you can go check him out. But stay around. Let's finish this review off with Super Sons issue number 13, beginning the final story arc, or second to last story arc for Future Sons. This is the book I'm kind of sad to see go, but at the same time, there's a lot you can do with John and Damian. You could let John join the Teen Titans. You could let John and Damian join another group, another team, and you can still have John and Damian around. I'm sure that they have plans for both John and Damian. I just don't want John to disappear off the face of the earth now. You know what I mean? I like John as a character. I like John, period. I want to see him keep going. Even if they make a Superboy book, hey, that's another Superman book, regardless of if it has Superman in it or not. Make Superboy again, because you know you're not gonna DC. Let's pull out the let's bring the elephant, you know, to attention to the elephant in the room here. We all know you're not bringing Bart, Cassie, or Connor back in the next year, so make John Superboy. And when you bring Connor back, either give him a new name or make him all new Superboy or all old Superboy. You can make John new Superboy. You can even call John's book all new Superboy, and then when Connor comes back, you can just call his book Superboy. There could be more than one Superboy, just like there could be more than one Wolverine, just like there's definitely more than one Superman now. So all new Superboy and Superboy. So I'd be down for that. This was a good issue. Talia comes back. She's upset that Bruce has Damian going to school, you know, festering away, and she has this mission she wants Damian to go on, and Damian tells her where she could shove it. And I like this issue. It was a fun issue. Was it a groundbreaking, my #1 pick of the week book? No. But it was still a fun read. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Damian. I like the artwork in the book. I like that Damian and John in school. And I love how John is bragging to Damian, hey, John, hey, Damian, I'm acting so normal. Isn't that cool? Nobody can tell that I'm really Superboy. I'm acting so normal. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I enjoyed that. And I like how John is so proud of himself that he can pretend to be so normal, even though we all know he's kind of being a dork about it. But beside the point, it was fun. And we find out that Talia has a target, and it's John's mom, Lois. And that's where part 1 ends. It's going to be very interesting to see where things go from here. And I like how John's like, you were an assassin, but you didn't kill too many people, right? And Damian's like, that's a part of my life I don't want to talk about anymore. And John's kind of like, I love how John is like super forgiving. He's like, well, you were different then. You know, it was a different time, right? You're not the same person anymore. And I just love the friendship between John and Damian. That's another thing. This book brings that out, and you get that Tim Connor feel with Damian and John. That's why I'd like to see them at least in a team book, so you get to see their personalities still working together and their friendship and their bond still growing. Without that, you won't have that. It'll be something that goes on behind the scenes. And I'd like to, as a reader, I'd like to see that continue forward. If you can't do it through Super Sons, do it through Teen Titans. If you can't do it through Teen Titans, do it through another title somehow. But their friendship is definitely like Bruce, Superman, Tim, Connor. And DC, I know you pushed Doomsday Clock to a once every other month format. Because you did that, at some point, please bring Connor, Cassie, and Bart back within this year. I don't want to be 40 when you bring them back too. I know I won't be 40 when you bring them back, but at the same time, I don't want to. I would like to have them back as soon as possible. We've lost them already for 5.5 years, and no, I don't count New 52 Connor and Cassie as our Connor and Cassie. So it's been a long time since I've seen our Connor and our Cassie, and it's been an even longer time since I've seen our Bart. I would like to see all 3 of them back, hopefully within the year or 2. I really would love to see them back before 2019, but if not, then maybe by the beginning of 2019. Please? You put Bendis on my favorite title, my favorite character. Could you at least give me a little DC? Just a little? Anyway, that's it for this review, guys. As always, thank you so much for being here. Justin, Jesse, Tevya. We had Austin Lawhorn. We had It's Frank pop in for a bit. We had also since the very beginning of the review, we had Alan, Jack, millions of different name people. That is him. So thank you all for being here live. I appreciate that. Again, before you guys go, I did make a video. It literally was the day it dropped. My initial reaction and rant about the all new, fresh, fresh start for Marvel. If you haven't checked that video out already, definitely go check it out. Thank you to everybody who did check it out. Loved the video. There was only one person who didn't like the video, and he was very vocal about it because he's a Marvel fan, and that's understandable. I mean, that's cool. And again, I'm not saying I hate Marvel. I'm still reading Marvel. It's just, if you watch the video, you'll understand. Hashtag Marvel, don't be the banana. Go check the video out for yourself, guys. Enjoy it. I'll be doing more topical videos. Dark Avenger podcast. I skipped February for a reason. March will be episode 0. April will be episode 1. and we have what we need coming in April. May is when we will put the $10 down for SoundCloud, and when we will be starting posting on SoundCloud. Whether Mike will have a podcast or not, I can't promise that because Mike just doesn't want to do it. But I'll have the Dark Avenger podcast on there. Maybe we'll do a Brooklyn Boy podcast.
What?
A Brooklyn Boy podcast. Kind of like the 360s, except without the video.
It's the same thing, but
it is, but it's a podcast, not a video. And we'll see how that goes. But anyway, this is all cloud, all just topic ideas that we're playing with. But we'll be back on SoundCloud in May. This month we are planning because it's technically a half hour away from March 1st. Happy March 1st, everybody, early. To somebody out there, it's March. If you live in the UK, it's March already. March 20th, Sea of Thieves is dropping. We will be having a launch. We'll have a launch stream over on Twitch. And it will carry into the Frontline live show, which I will have my microphone out. So we will be verbally recording. We'll be doing the podcast or the live show. And I'll be broadcasting it also on Sea of Thieves while I'm playing the game. I'll probably have to do solo during that because I can't be on the microphone in the game and over here unless I mute us on the live. This is all stuff I'm still playing with the idea. But we'll see how we're going to do that. But we're going to be doing that. And then Saturday... That Saturday, we're going to be doing a Sea of Thieves celebration kind of deal where I'm going to be doing
March 20th?
After March 20th. It'll be Saturday.
Well, it's early in the morning.
Yeah, it'll be early. Yeah, we're going to be doing all day. We're going to be doing a 20-hour stream. I don't care. Mike has something he's doing in the morning. He'll be joining afterwards. But on the 20th, it'll be the 20th, it's dropping, so we'll have we're going to be doing a stream about it there. We'll have the room all decked out and look piratey. Yeah, it'll look all piratey. And then we're going to carry it over to Saturday where we'll have a longer stream and a celebration to go along with it. The reason we're not celebrating on Tuesday is he works. I'll be doing work during the morning hours, and everybody's going to be away. All you guys will be working. We want to do it on a day where people are off, where people can enjoy it. So Saturday, everybody's home. Everybody can enjoy it. So we'll do it Saturday, the celebration. We'll do a launch thing on Tuesday, though. I will be streaming on Twitch, and we might do a short video here on this channel, carry it over to Frontline Live, and then Saturday we'll do the full-fledged, like maybe a 20-hour stream of the game on Twitch, and we'll see if it'll bleed into YouTube as well. I'm trying to get as many people as I can on Sea of Thieves. That game is good. Speaking of which, look forward to a topic video on the beta. My thoughts. I believe I called it my thoughts, concerns, positives, negatives, and rating on how the beta looked. So I will be doing a video on the Sea of Thieves beta. That should be going up, if not tomorrow, definitely Friday, because there were two betas. There was one that came out last week and then one that came out the previous week. The previous week one is the one I was doing the review on, but then they released a second one. So I said, okay, I'll do the second one, and then I'll throw together my first impressions kind of the beta. Now, again, the review will be on the beta. I'll mention it at the beginning of the video. It's not on the game. It's on what I feel the game, my concerns, thoughts, and stuff on the game thus far. Only seeing a fraction of it. Remember, guys, they didn't release the full game for the beta. I'll talk about this in that video. I don't want to say it all here, too. But anyway, there's that. The Dark Avenger podcast, beginning of March. The celebration at the end of March. And we'll be back on Frontline Live this coming Tuesday. It's just been a very hectically busy week for me. Thank you all so much for being here. But now, for those of you watching post-live, it's your turn. Let us know about what you guys thought of the books that came out this week. I can speak. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree. Love to hear your thoughts, recommendations. If you have any books you'd like to recommend, don't recommend anything with John Romita Jr.'s artwork in it. And yeah, so we'll see you guys next week on time, hopefully on Monday. Take care. Keep reading, keep collecting. And we'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. Later, everybody.
Bye, everyone.